So one of the things that we often get asked is questions as to what SDN can do for me. What problem is it trying to solve? And the reality of it is that SDN as a concept means a lot of things to a lot of different people. For some people, it's sort of viewed as a way of programming forwarding tables, and that's great if you want yet another way of telling a switch how to send packets from A to B. But the real use cases that we've seen for SDN involve solving real-world customer problems, not just being yet another way of moving packets and data within a network. For some people, some of the problems that they have in their network is lack of visibility of what's going on. Is there latency in the network? Is there oversubscription? Is there a hotspot? Are there microbursts? And historically, things like networking devices have not provided means of visibility into that kind of data. For other people, it might be visibility into what their virtual machines are doing. Again, virtual machines and VMs have typically been a black box and just not visible to the network. Traffic going between devices, yeah, it's just not visible. It might also be that we have the concept of things like today many networks and many organizations still have network engineers that are going around with serial console cables giving initial configurations to devices. And again, you know, for a lot of people, that's just a legacy way of doing things, and it could be viewed that SDN is really about providing the means of solving real-world customer problems in networks that just simply hasn't been possible in the past with networking equipment. Google gave a great example at the last ONF about how they're making use of SDN for reducing cost out of the network and increasing performance. A lot of the concepts of what they're talking about, though, were less about the concept of SDN in itself, but more about how you utilize the devices. It was really highlighting the fact that historically, networking devices simply have not provided the means of them being able to do whatever it is that they want to do in terms of programming their network to do what they want. And in many cases, it may simply be that they're using technologies like OpenFlow to allow a switch to do what a router port would normally do, and they're taking advantage of the economics of switch ports compared to router ports. Microsoft at the last NANOG gave a couple of presentations, but one of them was about how they used network automation that allowed them to roll out devices faster, make more changes to the network with a lot less errors. And there are a whole bunch of tools and things that they showed in terms of how they could automate the process of rolling out new devices, bringing devices up, and going through the natural progression of what you would do on a very large scale network. Some of the challenges Microsoft has is clearly they have one of the largest networks in the world, and in order to get the scale, you know, they just need to automate things to provide that. The reality is that people who are using SDN today are using it to solve real-world problems, and it's literally about enabling functionality in the network today that simply wasn't possible in the past.